Into the Night is a really cool compilation between Chad Kroeger from Nickelback and Carlos Santana. I'm not quite sure whether they don't sit and do more songs together because the guitars and the vocal, personally, I think sound really cool together. But enough of that. For the study, you're going to learn this intro riff, which should sound something like this. You're also going to get the PDF file with the tab, the chords, the different voicings, and you're also going to get an audio track, which will be the backtrack that I'm using to play all the riffs with. So what your target is going to be is to play something like this with the backtrack. Here we go. And then obviously the vocals would kick in if that was the original. Now I'm going to break up the first bar for bar, and then we're going to learn it as we go along. So I'm going to focus more in on the fretting hand. And the opening few notes are going to be this phrase, which includes pull-offs, a quick hammer on over here for a grace note from fret 4 to fret 5. And you'll notice that sometimes there's a smaller font, like the very first 4 is slightly smaller font size than the rest. This means you pick the 4 and hammer onto the 5 as quick as you can. So you can hear the effect of the hammer on, you don't really hear the 4. After you've hammered on the 5, you pluck the 5 again. Then you can do a pull-off like that. And then you go to fret 7 on the 4th string. And you can pull off there again as well. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to angle the camera a bit so you can see both left and right hands. And you can see when I'm picking and when I'm hammering on. And you can get an idea of what could sound quite sweet. Okay, it's going to sound something like this. Okay, you can see when the picking was kicking in. What's very important as well is if you decide that you prefer to do a slide from 4 to 5, in other words, you decide instead of doing this, you want to do and then slide back, that's quite acceptable as well. I don't want you to feel that you have to use the same techniques that I'm using. There's simply suggestions, guidelines. As long as your notes are correct, your phrasing is correct, how you get the note, whether it's a slide or a hammer on or pull off, I'm dead happy with that. Okay, and I'm talking next part, second half of the first bar. It's going to go on the 3rd string, 5, 7, slide to fret 9, go back to fret 7, hold it, and then a very quick slide back to the small 5. So it's going to be like that. And you'll notice with Santana's playing as well, it's very punctuated, so it's the nice, clean, set, grouped together phrases. So make sure you listen to the original as well. Make sure you got those pauses, those gaps, which let the other instruments come through. And try and think, I want to sound like Santana. That should be a motivation. Even if you use slightly different techniques, try and get the style, the phrasing similar. Okay. Now you've got your first 2 phrases. I'm going to play along with the backtrack. And they could sound something like this. And that's the first phrase. Now every time we do another bar, I'm going to rewind and then play along with the backtrack again so we can make sure we're keeping up as we go through. Bar number 2, it starts at fret 5 on the 2nd string, goes to fret 8, and you slide from fret 8 to fret 10. So you don't pluck the first 10, you pluck the second 10, which gets pulled off very quick to 8, and then finishes on a very abrupt 9 on the 3rd string. And again, we're going to incorporate left and right hand together so we can see when we do hammer-ons, when we pull slides. And that phrase, slow motion, pay attention to him, could sound like this. And you stop nice and dead on that 9. One more time. And that will finish off with another phrase going 2nd string 8, 3rd string 9, 4th string 10, 10. Now from the top we're going to add both bars together with the backtrack. I'm going to focus more on the fretting hand now, and it could sound something like this. got that. Now we're on to the third bar, the second line. This is quite cool because it's basically all picked one note per string. So it's fifth string, fret 7, fret 7 again, goes to the third string, fret 5, double 5 on the second string, and a quick slide to fret 9. So it's going to go. And that 8, you'll notice it sort of holds and then quickly jumps up to the 8 over there, which creates that nice typical Santana sound tension. After you've done that, there's a tiny gap. Remember we mentioned the silence pauses that Santana does. Make sure you've got them. We're going to go to the 8 again. And from that 8, you're going to jump back very quick to 3 succession of 5/7 hammer-ons. Slow motion. There's the 8 to the pinky, onto the first finger on the third string for the 5, and you play it 3 times in a row. And as we said, every time we learn a new part, we put it together with the backtrack. I'm going to zoom out a bit there, a bit of a different view, watching for hammer-ons, pull-offs, and let's do this. Going well so far. Into the last bar. Now the last bar is possibly the easiest of all the phrases. It starts again on the third string with the same 5/7 hammer-on, and then you just pluck the second 7. Okay, so the first 7 is the hammer-on, and the second one is the pick. Then on to fret 5, 4, all still on the third string, and we close off on the fourth string, fret 7. Play it through twice. And that's the entire introduction. Now remember as well, play along with the audio track, load it up, learn the phrases, and then jam along with the backtrack. I'm going to do one last time through. Okay, here we go. That's like we said with the vocals kick in. Now, before we tie up this particular study, I want you to introduce the A Dorian mode, which is at the bottom of your PDF file as well. And you'll notice that the chords for the song are actually A minor, C, G, and D. So you'd sort of expect it to be in the key of C major, which would actually work as well. It's one of those ambiguous sort of phrases. But Santana, you'll hear lots of guys say it likes the Dorian scale, the Dorian mode. Let me teach you the scale. It's going to start at fret number 5, starting in the 6th string. The diagram is on your page, and it's going to go 5, 7, 8, onto the next string, 5, 7. The next string, watch the first finger jump back, 4, 5, 7, and again 4, 5, 7. Moves back to fret 5 for 5, 7, 8, and 5, 7, 8 again. So your Dorian scale. That sounds pretty sweet. Now what I'm going to do one last time is I'm going to sit and play through the intro again just to reinforce the melody. It's obviously always a good idea to go and watch the original so you can see Santana for those extra little subtleties that maybe escape me. And we're going to, after I've done it, instead of singing, I'm going to jam along. I'm going to improvise with that scale. Okay, well, let's go. Here comes the tune first. And here's the Dorian. Phrases short with silent pauses. nicely. Now just quickly on the theory to give you a bit of background, the A Dorian mode is basically a minor related mode. It's built from the A minor chord, well, A minor chord is built from the A Dorian, rather, to be the correct way of saying it. And it's actually in the key of G. Now, the key of G has got one sharp, it's got an F sharp. There's my F sharp. And if I play the Dorian from A, there's the same note. So they contain the same note. So in essence, we say it's A Dorian tonality because it's an opening A minor chord in the key of G, and that gives us the Dorian tonality. But in essence, for improvising, you can use the E minor scale, the natural minor, you can use E minor pentatonic, you could use a D mixolydian, because they all contain the same notes, B phrygian, and all those scales are actually listed on your PDF file as well. So I'm going to do one last jam just for the fun of it, and I'm going to sit and just mess around, have some fun with the whole piece, but I'm going to move up and down the guitar neck, and I'm only using those modes that are written on the page, nothing else. Okay, one last jam. You had fun with that, but what would be really cool is, now that you've got the backtrack as well, is I'd love to hear your playing so I can see what you're all about, get an idea of what you enjoy. If there's something you want me to comment on, I'll be happy to do so as well. Remember, when it comes to style, it's all really opinion, as long as you're in tune, that's the important thing. So love to hear you play, do a video of yourself, love to see the techniques. And otherwise, enjoy the song. The second video I'm going to prepare will be with the chord voicings for the rhythm players. Okay, hope you enjoy the song. Take care.